Hello, everyone. Today we're doing a follow-up session with Ava, who did a session with me in September. This time we're doing the follow-up. If you want to get one of these of your own, the links are in the description. So now we're just going to wait for Ava and then get started. Hello.
Hi. Okay. You said there's not a lot to correct here.
Yeah, your solves are looking really nice, but
Thanks.
yeah, you've made a huge improvement since September. It's amazing.
Yeah, I've been practicing a lot. I took your advice and I learned a lot more rotationless F2L tricks and stuff.
Yeah, and I can definitely see that in the average.
Yeah.
So let's set this to 0.25, and then we can get started here. I'm going to turn down the volume on that. Okay, there we go. So it seems like your crosses are pretty nice. Just the one thing I see on this solve in particular is that I think it would have been ideal to notice that you already had this pair connected in the back and do that as your first pair.
Yeah.
Because of course that's a free pair, that's your easiest option, and also that goes into the back left, which is the worst slot for how easy the finger tricks are. So if you do that, that makes the rest of your F2L much easier.
Yeah.
So that's just something to keep an eye out for. But let's see, that's actually, so let's go back a little bit. So you took out the blue and orange pair. And then is this how you normally solve it, where you insert the corner and then do double sexy?
Wait. Let me see.
So you have
Yeah, I usually do that.
so that's actually interesting. That can definitely work. But the other option is to do a U prime and then do R prime U2 R to set them up.
Yeah.
And I'd say they're both about the same, but when this back right slot is empty, I would do the R prime U2 R1.
Okay.
So that definitely works. And then, of course, your blue and red is easy to spot here. And you go straight into that. That's all very nice. Let me turn that down a little bit more. And then you have your green and red. So overall, first of all, no, this was a completely rotationless solve, which was very, very nice.
Yeah.
And then your well, the F2L cases were pretty easy, but your look ahead was very nice. The
Okay.
rec- the recognition on this OLL, the recognition is a bit iffy, but I can tell from later in the average that you don't know full OLL. So is this one that you just learned or something?
Yeah, I've been learning a lot more OLL algorithms, so I kind of pause a little bit to recognize it, but
Yeah,
it's better now.
yeah, I can definitely understand that. But yeah, you know the good alg for that, and then just unfortunately you get an N perm.
Yeah. I don't know if that's the right algorithm because I see people using other ones.
There really is no right algorithm because none of them are very good. I use a different one, but that's not very good either. And
Yeah.
N perms are rare enough that it's not awful if you don't have a great alg, honestly.
Okay.
I'm not gonna worry about that too much. If you want to learn another alg, you can, but you don't have to.
All right.
So that was your 12.8. And your fundamentals are very, very solid.
Thanks.
And then let's see. Yep. So yeah, very easy white cross here. Let me just see. So one thing that I see here, and this is something you can start to look for. So if you see here, you've got this green corner connected to the edge, right?
Yeah.
And then you've got the edge for that F2L pair right there. So if you have blue in front and you do D prime, L2, D prime, that builds an X cross with these two using keyhole.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, that's very, very useful. And then your blue's right here, so you could just do D prime, L2, D prime, and then insert that edge.
All right.
Let's see what you did there. So my guess is you're gonna do. All right. I mean, that looked like very efficient as well. And then that leaves you with this pair, which is very nice. And one thing that I do with this pair that I don't think it really matters. Oh, oops. If I go back there. One thing that I do with a pair like this a lot, so I'd connect it like that, and then I'd do LU2 L prime here. I don't think it really makes a difference, but there are multiple options.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you do that, and then so you've got this pair or this pair. I'd say, yep. And same thing. I would probably do U2 there, but doing it the way you did sets you up with this pair, which is very nice. And once again, your look ahead here is excellent. Everything's flowing very well. It's just like one thing I saw here is sometimes it looks like your finger tricks are a little bit simple. Like this may seem like it's nitpicking a little bit, is that when you do the L prime, U prime L here, you re-gripped for it. When what you can do, and I'm not sure if you can really visualize this, is sort of pinch the top left corner and do L prime, U prime L that way.
Yeah, I have a cube by me, so I just tested it out. I think I know what you're saying.
Yeah, that can be very useful. I do that a lot for moves on the left, and then very, very nice on this last pair. You get anti-soon, and then an A-perm. And that was your 11, I think.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, and that was, of course, a very nice solve all the way through, and then you got some easy last layer cases.
Yeah.
So again, very, very, very nice. Let's go to the third one. This one looks a little bit more difficult, but it's still not too bad. I think I remember what you did, and I would have basically done the same thing.
Yeah.
Which is just F prime L F2. So yeah, you do F prime L F2, and then finish your cross. Very nice, and that leaves you with this pair first. Doesn't matter too much, but when you have this position, you can either move it to here and set them up for the 3-move insert, or you can move it to here. And I probably would have done R moves, but that's really, really nitpicking.
Yeah, I can pretty much do almost the same with left and right. I mean, obviously right's better, but
Yeah,
that's
so it
really the
doesn't.
difference.
So that's nitpicking a lot. And then the one thing here is I actually would have done a cube rotation the other way and solved this pair on the left because, like you said, doing stuff on the right is better, and that means you can do more of your F2L pairs on the right.
Yeah.
So then, what I really like here is that the easy thing to spot is this green and orange pair, but you know that you have to cube rotate for that, so you waited and spotted this blue and orange and did that instead.
Yeah.
I think that was very, very smart. And then that sets you up with this. And you did this pretty nice. The one thing is when you're done inserting the blue and orange pair, you have the green and orange at this angle, and you can just do R, U prime, R prime to split them up from this angle.
Yeah.
So that's probably what I would have done, and that's definitely nitpicking. And so you solve that. Then your last pair you solved very nicely. Again, just excellent look ahead. You do your 2-look OLL. And one thing with this case, oops, I don't know why that's happening. With this case is that if you, I see you doing that first R2 as R2 prime. If you do it as R2 going upwards, then that can make the entire algorithm re-gripless.
Oh. Yeah, I've never really liked that algorithm, and I was like, is there a different one? I guess I've been doing it wrong.
There are others, and when you start learning COLL and things like that, you'll learn the other algorithms, and then you won't do this algorithm as often.
Yeah.
And you can do the D prime with your left ring finger, which is very nice. And then you get a J perm. And then that is 13.9, yeah. So what would you say is your overall average?
Well, I have a session for 3x3, and it's a 13.8.
Okay, so this is a good average for you.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, and even on your slower solves in it, like this 13.9, it's still your solves still look very nice.
Yeah.
So then if I move on to the fourth one, and we're just blazing through this.
Yeah.
This is going really fast. Okay, let's see what I can spot here. This one, yeah, this one looks more difficult.
Well, this one was my best. Wait, never mind. I was looking at the wrong way. Yeah, this one was a 13, I think.
Yeah, 13. Oh wait, the last one was your 1305, I think, and this one's your 13.9.
Oh, okay.
Because you have the 12.8 at the end in your description, but that was your first solve.
Oh. Yeah.
So then, let's see what you do here. I'm not really seeing anything great. I mean, that looked surprisingly quick, honestly. really couldn't spot anything nice there, but that looked very good. So then you've got this pair and this pair. And so what I would do here, just looking at this, is rotate so that red is on front, and then do blue and orange, and then green and orange. But let's, and then, okay, that's, and then I think here you're going to do red and green instead. So the one thing here, and this is something that I've mentioned already, is I would have cube rotated the other way, so then you're filling the back left slot instead.
Yeah.
So that's the one thing there. But still, your look ahead is very good. And you've got that pair, which is very nice. And I really like your decision to set it up in the front right and then solve it in the back. That was very nice. And then that leaves you with this. And this is something that you can actually start thinking about as you get faster. What I noticed here is that you have all of your other edges oriented.
Yeah.
And then the way you solve that, it flips some of them. But what you can do is cube rotate here so you have red in front. Solve this pair by doing R, U2, R2, U prime R, and then that will mess up the red and green, but you can just insert it again, and then that will save all of your edges, and you'll get a cross OLL.
Oh.
And that's like a relatively simple version of this concept. It's something that you can get really in depth with a lot of practice.
Yeah.
And it's something that can be really useful to spot, especially for things like one-handed. You did end up getting this OLL, so it worked out either way because this is a nice one. But if you got like a worse OLL, then saving your edges would have been a really smart plan. And then yeah, that was your 1305, I think. I think that maybe the solves in the description are just kind of out of order.
Yeah.
So then we've got one more. So do you have any questions so far or anything?
So what's the thing I should mostly work on? Like,
The thing you should mostly work on. So you have a lot of your look ahead is very nice, especially when you get like easy cases. So what I'd say actually the thing you should work on most right now is what I've mentioned with smart cube rotations and
yeah.
making sure that your like back and left slots are filled, so then you can do more pairs on the front and on the right, because
Yeah.
that makes the finger tricks easier, and it makes the look ahead easier because your biggest blind spot is the back left slot.
Yeah.
So
Do you think my turning should be any faster, or is it fine?
I think it's fine now. And I'd say that you only need to turn faster when your look ahead allows it. So
Yeah.
like when you're doing PLL and stuff, just feel free to turn as fast as you can. But like during F2L, your current turning speed allows you to look ahead very well, and so that isn't something you need to mess with.
Okay.
So you've got green edge, red. So here, I could sort of do an X cross here because I have, if I show you, I have this corner attached with the red edge, and so I could build that and then insert the red and green edge, but that would be kind of difficult in this situation.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. I'm not sure if you planned this, but you actually did build that X cross.
Oh, I did? Oh, I didn't even
Yeah,
realize.
if you look at that, you've got this pair solved.
Oh.
I didn't quite see like how that happened. I didn't track the pieces, but that ended up working out very nicely. And then you've got your blue and red pair in the back here. Very nice. And then you've got these two. And what I would do in this situation, because there are about, when you have a situation like this, there's like 5 or 6 ways of solving it. What I would do is do a U2, so my corner is up here, and then do RU R prime, and then that sets up to the 3-move insert.
Okay.
But what you did is really useful in some situations. It can get really complicated to figure out when one way of doing it is useful and when another way is.
Yeah.
One second, I'm just testing something.
All right.
Okay. So I was going to so and then you have this pair and you do your triple sexy. What I would do here, and I think this is better for regrips, and I think it saves a move as well, is that I would just do a U prime and then just do the inverse. So do U R U prime R prime, or when you have the corner right here, you just start with R U prime R prime, and then you solve the pair that way. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So I think that saves a move, and that saves you from having to do a regrip there with your right hand. And then you get this OLL. Yeah, very good. And then this is a G perm. And that execution was good. Just the one thing I saw is that your second R2 here, I think if you do R2 forwards in this situation, it's a little bit easier, but that just might be my opinion.
All right.
That's worth trying and figuring out which one you like better.
Yeah.
And so that was your
5th solve.
Yeah, that was your 1172.
All right. So I should work on better rotations.
Yeah, the smart cube rotations. So last time your problem was cube rotating because you thought you had to for certain cases. You've completely fixed that. And now you can think about how cube rotating will help you with your F2L like that. So, like I said, the smart cube rotations, and one thing that can also help with that, it sounds strange, but what I've been doing is trying to make sure that my first F2L pair goes into my back left slot. And that's pretty easy to do when you can plan your first F2L pair during your inspection.
Yeah.
So if you can try to do that consistently, then that makes look ahead easier. It makes smart cube rotations easier. It's going to help in a lot of ways.
Okay.
So that's one thing. You've mentioned the finger tricks a little bit. That's not a huge problem, but in certain places it could help.
Yeah.
And then the last thing I'd say is keep working on full OLL. I think one of your 13s was basically because you didn't know the OLL.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think that could save some time as well.
Okay.
So do you have any other questions or anything?
No, I think that's good.
All right. Well, if you have any more questions, you know how to get a hold of me.
Yep.
Thank you for coming on here.
Yep. Bye.
Bye.